Just get out of my fucking way! It's Black History Month!
Now that I'm in art school, I have this saying that I don't share too often, but sometimes I do. Essentially, I say, if you want to do school right, you have to do it twice. And not really twice literally, more so metaphorically, meaning the second time around, school should be done intentionally. I think that through intention, it allows for whatever it is that you're doing or interested in to be significantly more fun and impactful for you yourself. In this instance, it would be like for me and myself. I'm incredibly more observant than I was before because through intention, you're wanting to make sure everything is in alignment. Whereas before, I feel like the way I was moving was very much like whatever was handed to me was like, yes, okay, or just trying to figure things out. And I didn't really feel like I had a choice. I feel like now as I mature with time, age, and experience, that I become increasingly more aware that I always have a choice.
Gonna see the video, they're gonna be sad. I wish we could have got down with them. Damn, you damn right you wish you could have got down with us.
I brought out my little black notebook, and essentially I'm sharing 10 ways to maintain a sense of self as a black woman in predominantly white academic spaces. It almost seems obvious how one would move in a predominantly white space, but it's not always. And I realized that when there's only a handful of black people on the campus that's a PWI, it seems like, through my observation, even if people are not verbal or outspoken about it, it seems like everyone's looking for like that nigga. Like everyone's looking for that black person that's going to encourage and amplify the genius of the other black students on campus. That's what it seems like. Niggas being around each other and who see like how niggas are like amplifying their voices and magnifying their agency in a space that perhaps doesn't promote that, despite whatever the campus ethos says. It encourages everyone to like be on the same page. It becomes like this like pulse. It's like a domino effect. My genius is going to rub off on somebody else's genius, their genius is going to rub off on me, and so on and so forth. And everyone trust yourself. It took me a long time to actually understand and learn how to trust myself. And once I began doing it, I began to feel 10 times more confident. It sounds easy, but it feels like once I began to like pivot my mind and like redirect my thoughts, I began to understand that this is a lifetime practice. Trusting myself is a lifetime practice. It's not something that you just like do one time and then you're just like, oh, I can trust myself. I think it's constantly reminding yourself that you know what's best for you, which then prompts and promotes you to become more self-aware and to self-assess and to really begin to analyze yourself internally, which takes a lot of work and a lot of patience. However, I feel by doing that with yourself, you begin to trust the world around you is also being themselves, which allows you to then adjust accordingly, which is a good thing because essentially it just boils down to boundaries. This is my list. This is not like the end all be all list, but for 2, curate music playlists actively. I'm a music head and my sister gifted me AirPods for my birthday, so I always have them in. But outside of that, I was always listening to music in general. I've been using Spotify since like 2013, and I have so many playlists as I prepare to become a DJ in the future. But I think that music plays a huge role in how I maneuver through space. I mean, when I'm super focused, I probably have the music off. But when I'm in a zone, I always have some type of like music playing. So music, create those playlists. Like I got a playlist for the hallway, for my computer work, for my when I'm eating like lunch, and it just like hypes me up, amps me up, or allows me to wallow in whatever feeling that I'm experiencing. 3 is dance. So I didn't think that I was gonna be posting on TikTok, but I post on TikTok. I'm not a TikToker, but so I do yoga in the morning, mostly every morning. And one morning I just did not feel like stretching. And then I began to feel guilty. But then I remembered that, and I only began to feel guilty because I promised myself I would be active in the morning. But then I remembered I wanted to learn a TikTok dance. So what I started doing in the morning is like learning a TikTok dance. And I don't know how these kids be getting sturdy and like learning this super fast, but 30 minutes of learning how to get sturdy will have your heartbeat up, and then you will actually know how to get sturdy. So when the song comes on, you could just, you know, so yeah, dance.
When they gonna see the video, they gonna be sad. I wish we could have got down with them. Damn, you damn right you wish you could have got down with us.
Fourth one is imagine. So something that has really been getting me excited is, so I was reading Toni Morrison. I'll put the book, I've shared it before. And she talks about the imagination. And it's so funny because I didn't realize how often someone could be telling a story, but they're asking you, they're inviting you to imagine with them, and how often people at some point in someone else's story stop imagining and they try to pull someone else's imagination into quote unquote the real world, or being like practical. And I have been practicing not doing that. So I don't think that I was doing it as far as like art is related, but in like casual conversation, I feel like perhaps yes. And I also feel like people have done it to me. I think the more I realize like I want to create my own world through my artistic practice, is the more I realize how I'm inviting people to imagine with me, which allows me to be open-minded when they're inviting me to imagine with them. Imagining also means like it's a world adjacent, and once I realized that I could create and play in a world adjacent to the one that I'm occupying and like borrow liberally and like steal these ideas, making this became 10 times more exciting because, okay, we're back. Yeah, imagine. It's so much fun. Like, you can imagine anything, and like, yeah. Especially being a Black person, like as it relates, when I say imagine, I also mean like in your real life, but also in your work. I think sometimes Black people feel stifled by an idea that they may have because perhaps it's not socially accepted, or it go against moral grounds. But then I also think, whose moral grounds? Like, if I am imagining something in my world adjacent, then it has every right to exist inherently as it is. And this is very fun and exciting and liberating. The fifth one is explore and ask questions. Explore meaning unveil any curiosity that you have and just get to looking, get to seeking, get to collecting, get to talking, learning more about people. The more patient I am with myself, the more patient I begin to become with other people. Now, if the energy is just not energizing, then obviously I just kind of like close my little force field. I've also accepted, this is not on the list, but something that I've accepted is risking the likability factor of myself, because inherently as a Black woman, as a Black person, there are going to be people who just automatically see you as aggressive no matter what you say. Like, they're gonna think that you're just like the boogie monster.
Oh my God, you know what? This is really scary. Oogly moogly, bitch.
But that has nothing to do with me. That's a projection of like their ignorance. And so I just kind of like let that roll off, but I explore. So the patience I practice with myself, I can practice with others. And when I'm practicing patience with others, I'm trusting myself to be me and trusting them to be them. And when they show me themselves, I get to adjust and be able to interact accordingly. I feel like this allows me to have like genuine connections with people, all types of people. I just began to pick up on like the cadence of like how people communicate. Like if some people talk slower than others and I actually want to have the conversation, I just like slow down too. If people want to have fast-paced conversations, then I can have fast-paced conversations too. And this is actually if I want to have these conversations.
When they gonna see the video, they gonna be sad. I wish we could have got down with them. Damn, you damn right you wish you could have got down with us.